had brought this to the board's attention in early January. Quite honestly, with the previous board, I had multiple conversations about an expiring 3-year contract and what that would look like. From our last meeting in January, when we actually had the opportunity to discuss this, we had come to an agreement where Sharon, I believe Brian, and Kurt were going to be overseeing a full red line of the contract where they would bring recommendations to me and we would present that to the board. A lot has happened from January till now, and that just did not happen. There was a lot of insurance, maintenance things that had to be addressed, and I wanted to make this incredibly simple because it's truly not, the intent was not to change the agreement to an extensive amount, and quite honestly, the intent of the agreement was to get a reaffirmed commitment from this board of directors to have that fresh slate. Now, actually, would you mind, can I excuse the management team except for Laura? Just, I know you're a resident, you can probably log in, but just out of respect, I'll just take a moment. Thanks. So as this board knows, and now the community can know, Laura's last day supporting Val Vista Lakes is today. I'm very pleased to say that she's going to stay with First Service Residential, but she is moving on to a different opportunity. And so as this conversation has progressed as it relates to the contract, I felt like it was prudent to have this agreement before the board before we put another general manager in place. It is, again, a reaffirmed commitment where every board member needs to say their vote on if they're willing to engage First Service and continue to build this relationship. We've identified the successor to Laura. Delaney Gazai is a regional director in our high rise. I've worked with her for 5 years, 14 years of experience. She's exceptional, and I know she'll do an exceptional job. But I will not allow her to get burned out. So I wanted to be really cautious with how we did this. And that's why I've asked for this reaffirmed commitment from the board. The addendum that I have created, I have socialized with Sharon and with Mel, has hardly any impact. And quite honestly, extending auto renew has more benefits for First Service. Right now, just to give everybody some insight as to what some of those previously negotiated terms were, First Service does all the transfer and disclosures on behalf of the association. Because they were self-managed prior, we decided to split that, what you call revenue share. The revenue for us supports that team doing the work. Val Vista no longer has to staff that piece, but you still get to enjoy the offsetting revenue. That 50% ends at the 3-year term, and so the initial thought was to just allow that to roll over and not extend that. This addendum does 2 things. Number one, it continues that cost share of the 50% through the next 12 months, actually ending March 31st. So it's a little bit longer than the 12 months. The only other offset is that there is 2, rather, when it comes to staffing. Currently, we're at a cost plus 6. Across First Service Residential, we're a cost plus 10 when it comes to staffing. So again, if you have $700,000 of staffing, there's a piece of that that is already factored in with salaries, taxes, burden, benefits, medical, and then on top of that, we add 6%. The industry for us, it's typically 12. I have asked to adjust that to 7 from 6. So a 1% adjustment for staffing as our staffing levels have significantly and will continue to decrease. And the general manager's compensation is noticeably less moving forward as well. So those are the 2 pieces, and that subset of the staffing is, as I had mentioned to this group several months ago, a clause in the agreement that allows the board to express in writing if they would like a member of the management team removed. So that I wanted to give that autonomy and that authority back to the board so that we don't get into a place prior to my arrival or prior to Laura's where you are unsatisfied with a member on the team and you feel like you have no place to go. So those are the 3 terms, if you will, for us to discuss. Again, for me to move forward and put a general manager, I don't want it to come across as this or that, but I do need that commitment in order to move forward with putting another associate in place.
If I can say real quick, I'm noticing my conflict of interest. My husband's company typically works with First Service and other management companies, so I'm going to recuse myself from voting on this. I don't legally have to, but I feel like it's ethical for me to step out and not vote or comment on this topic.
And I've already done this to the board a while ago, but because I work for a management company and I also have the same accreditations through CAI, I have to recuse myself as well. I haven't seen the contract, so.
Well, it's the initial contract and everybody has access to that contract.
But the addendum, I haven't seen anything. Did I miss it? Did it from the board?
It's just the two items that I expressed, from moving from 6% to 7%. The 6%.
I think we received an email on it too today, didn't we? I think I saw an email or I read it somewhere.
I didn't see
The transfer and disclosures remains the same. So that's why I don't consider that a change, because that is actually honoring those terms on a move forward. And then again, the other benefit is having an express consent to eliminate a member of the team. So those are the terms. I find them to be worth it for me to have that reaffirmed commitment from this board. A new general manager, while I love working with Laura, and I think she's done a phenomenal job, I would like to look at this as a reset for not just the board and management, but for the community to move in a positive direction on a fresh slate.
One of the things you said was the normal fee is 12%, but when we were doing the RFPs 3 years ago, the industry standard for those who submitted were 5 to 6%. And